Pep's finally lost it. £100 million from Morgan Gibbs-White? Manchester City are ready to smash records again. And it's not even for a global superstar. It's for a kid from Nottingham Forest. Meanwhile, over at Old Trafford, Manchester United are clearing the decks. Word is Desiree from PSG might already be packing his bags. But hold tight, this is just the warm-up. Because things are getting nuclear in Paris. Did Kylian Mbappe just single-handedly knock PSG out of the Champions League and start a legal war? Al-Khelaïfi is furious. Mbappe is living his best life. And PSG? They're doing mental gymnastics trying to hold on to their pride and their cash. And let's not forget Juventus. The old lady is sharpening her claws. 60 million euros is on the table for a new generational striker, someone they're already calling the next Holland. All that and so much more is coming your way right now. But first, smash that like button. Let's hit 400 likes on this video. You guys are the reason we can keep bringing the chaos, drama, and football fever to your screens every single day. Now let's dive into the madness. Manchester City, a club that's had legends like Yaya Touré, David Silva, and Kevin De Bruyne command their midfield. So who's next? Jude Bellingham? Frankie de Jong? Nope. Try Morgan Gibbs-White from Nottingham Forest. And the price? A jaw-dropping, wallet-trembling £100 million. Now let's rewind a bit. Remember when Forest paid £42.5 million for him and people lost their minds? Overpriced, they said. Who even is he, they laughed. Well, no one's laughing now. Gibbs-White has been dragging Nottingham Forest up the Premier League table like a man possessed. Goals, assists, flair, and leadership. He's the heartbeat of the squad. And here's the plot twist. As it stands, Forest are actually above City on the table. No, that's not a glitch. That's real life. And Pep Guardiola? He's watching closely. The man who once called Sergio Busquets the most intelligent player he'd ever coached now says Gibbs-White is exceptional. And when Pep uses that word, just ask Rodri, ask Bernardo Silva, ask Joao Cancelo. It usually means one thing: he wants you. Pep sees more than a De Bruyne replacement. He sees a clean slate, a young, hungry English talent with low wages, high ceiling, and an engine that never quits. The kind of guy who will press for 90 minutes and still volunteer to sweep the dressing room. But Forest aren't stupid. They know they've got gold in their hands. And when City came knocking with £100 million, it wasn't seen as an offer. It was seen as a warning shot. The question is, should City really take that gamble? Should they drop triple figures on a player who's never played Champions League football? Or is this Pep's next big masterstroke, a secret weapon hiding in plain sight? And if Forest do sell, who's next? Is this the new era of Nottingham Forest, no longer a selling club, but a pricing club? Let us know what you think in the comments. This one could change the whole Premier League landscape. Now, let's talk about Paris Saint-Germain. You'd think after years of chasing the Champions League and building a Galacticos 2.0 squad, they'd have learned how to run a football club. But no, they're out here playing chess with checker pieces. Here's what went down. PSG decided they didn't need to pay Mbappe anymore. Yup, that guy. The guy who carried France to a World Cup final. The guy who scored more goals at the Parc des Princes than most legends dream of. The guy who's already halfway to Ballon d'Or territory. They still owe him 36 million euros in signing bonus. Not to mention unpaid salaries for April, May, and June, which adds another 19 million euros. Grand total? 55 million euros. You'd think they'd just pay him and move on, right? Nope. PSG tried to outsmart the system and went to court trying to freeze the payment. Flexing muscles. Playing hardball. But the judge didn't even blink. Froze the funds right back. Now PSG can't touch that 55 million euros or pay it elsewhere. It's locked. Imagine scoring a spectacular own goal in a Champions League final, and then VAR replaying it just to remind you how badly you messed up. And PSG, they're doubling down. Appeals, tribunals, legal backflips, all to avoid paying a man who literally gave them everything for years. But here's the plot twist of all plot twists. Mbappe's camp is now reportedly pushing UEFA to kick PSG out of the Champions League due to these unpaid wages. And guess what? That's not just a bluff. It's in the rules. A club failing to pay its players can face European bans. So now, PSG aren't just looking like villains. They're looking incompetent. Players talk. Agents gossip. No one wants to sign for a club making headlines for the wrong reasons. And while all of this is happening, where's Mbappe? Living the dream at Real Madrid. Scoring goals. Signing autographs. Looking fresh and white. and probably laughing at PSG's financial circus from his luxury penthouse. Let's be honest, this isn't just a feud. It's a full-blown soap opera, with PSG playing the villain, the victim, and the fool all at once. So tell me, do you think UEFA will really ban them? Or will PSG somehow save face and pay up before they get thrown out of Europe? Drop your thoughts below, because this saga is nowhere near over. While PSG are out here fumbling, Juventus are moving in silence. But don't be fooled, they're planning something massive. Reports say the Italian giants are preparing a €60 million offer for a young striker being dubbed the next Erling Haaland. Big boots to fill? Yes. But Juve believe they've found the next goal machine. We're talking strength, pace, aerial power, and a lethal left foot. A true number 9. Something Juventus have been crying out for since the peak days of Higuain and prime Vlahovic. And with the club returning to European football next season, they want a new face, a new symbol, someone to lead the charge in this new era. More on this story in our next upload, so make sure you're subscribed and have notifications on. From £100 million midfielders to unpaid millions in Paris. From rising Forest stars to revenge plots in Turin. And that's not all. Tutto Mercato might have just dropped the bomb of the summer. Manchester United are reportedly open to selling Rasmus Højlund. Yes, the same striker they signed for over €75 million plus bonuses just last summer. And now, he's being floated around the market for €60 million. That's right, a loss after just one season. Højlund showed flashes of brilliance, but consistency? Still a work in progress. And now, under the Ineos regime, United are apparently ready to cash in early. Why? Simple. Rebuild mode is in full swing. United need funds, and drastic moves are on the table. And waiting in the shadows? Juventus. The Turin Giants are eyeing a return to Serie A for the Danish striker. He knows the league. He's young, his wages are manageable, around €4.5 million a year, and he desperately needs a fresh start. If Dusan Vlahovic departs, Juve sees Højlund as the ideal replacement. No official contact yet, but the smoke is turning to fire. For United, though, selling a 22-year-old striker after one turbulent season at a club in crisis? That's dangerously short-sighted. We've seen this story before. Sell early, regret later. Just ask Lukaku. From Juve's point of view, a bargain. In today's market, €60 million for a player with Højlund's upside is a steal. Give him time, the right system, and he could become a beast. But for United, is this smart business or more boardroom chaos? Meanwhile, over in Spain, Barcelona's sporting director Deco has been busy, and not just with transfers. He's locked down a huge chunk of the first-team core. Pedri, Gavi, Araujo, Inigo Martinez, and young Pau Cubarsí all staying put. Even Robert Lewandowski is on board for another season. Next in line for renewals? Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, and the ever-expensive Frenkie de Jong. And speaking of key decisions, Deco is already in talks with Hansi Flick's super agent, Pini Zahavi, to extend the German coach's stay. But here's the twist. The deal on the table is short-term. And it's not the club being cautious. It's Flick himself. The former Bayern and Germany boss reportedly sees Barcelona as his final managerial stop before retirement. No more trophies to chase after this. No more sidelines. Just peace, maybe a lake house and grandkids. But can Flick bring silverware to Camp Nou before walking off into the sunset? That's the fairy tale Barca fans are hoping for. Back at Old Trafford, while fans cling to what's left of their sanity, Ruben Amorim is plotting a complete squad overhaul. And first on his wish list? Desire Doué, the 19-year-old PSG wonderkid who's lighting up League One. Originally a Rennes breakout star, Doué was snapped up by PSG for around €50 million, and he's been electric, 12 goals, 12 assists in 43 appearances. Central, wide, creative, and yes, he tracks back. Imagine a Neymar with defensive instincts. But the big question is, how does United pay for him? Marcus Rashford's loan to Aston Villa has reignited interest. He could be sold for £40 million. Anani's mini resurgence at Real Betis might tempt them to make a move. And Garnacho? Still unpredictable, but Napoli and Chelsea haven't given up yet. Sell 2 or 3, and there's room for a generational talent like Doué. But again, United has a history of ruining young stars with potential. Is Doué built for this chaos? Meanwhile, Andre Onana had another disaster in the Europa League. 2 goals conceded against Lyon, both his fault. And just like that, the goalkeeping drama reignites. Former United man Nemanja Matic even called him the worst goalkeeper in the club's history. Harsh, Maybe. But after those clangers, it's hard to defend. Now, the club is looking at Bart Verbruggen, Brighton's 22-year-old Dutch shot stopper. A solid talent, but the asking price? A massive £60 million. That would make him one of the most expensive keepers ever. A cheaper alternative? Joan Garcia from Espanyol, available for 15 to 25 million euros. Still, Onana isn't backing down. He's reportedly determined to fight for his spot. But is willpower enough when you're leaking goals every other week? So what's next? Give Onana another shot? Or rip the band-aid off and invest again? Finally, we head to Germany, where Bayer Leverkusen are riding high and shopping in Manchester. Reports say they've opened talks with Man City for James McAtee and Stefan Ortega. McAtee wants game time. He's 22, talented, but stuck on Pep's bench. City want £25 million. Ortega? Solid backup. Great performances when Ederson was injured. Price tag? £15 million. Steep for a number 2, but he wants to be a starter. But here's the twist. City are using Leverkusen's interest as leverage. They've got their eyes on Florian Wirtz. Their plan? Offer McAtee and Ortega and ask about Wirtz. City see him as Kevin De Bruyne's long-term successor. They're reportedly willing to go north of £100 million. Leverkusen? Not interested, at least not yet. They want to extend Wirtz's contract, raise the release clause to £125 million, and keep their title-winning squad intact. But with Bayern lurking and City pushing hard, this saga is just beginning. So who wins? Will City get their next De Bruyne? Or will Leverkusen hold firm? Either way, the summer transfer madness is only just beginning.